looking like a mess is my aesthetic, okay? So we're gonna deal with it. I don't know, oh god. Fucking. Somebody please get this guy a therapist. Am I waiting for her to get tortured? I mean... This is me dipping in here from after reading a few chapters, in case you all weren't already aware. This is going to be spoiler filled, there is going to be swearing. I am going to detail some graphic scenes or whatever if I see them in the book and I want to discuss them. There's a lot of different kinks in here that will include pain, and I don't even know what trigger warnings to put on here, like for instance like mental or physical abuse. It is going to be quite graphic, and if you've heard of anything of Den of Vipers then you're going to know what it's going to be like. So if anything like sort of knife play, breast play, things like that, like if kinks bother you, or anything from that diverts from vanilla bothers you, like what I suggest you don't watch on. And I recommend that if anyone under 18 comes across this, that you do not go past this point. That's all I can say. So what's that? Hi, hello, welcome back to another vlog. What was that? I have no idea. But today we are going to be starting my Den of Vipers buddy read, and we're doing 10 chapters a day because it's got like 69 chapters in. How many pages that is, I don't know, but I say we, I haven't even told you in this vlog who it's with. It's with Kitty, and she has her own channel. I will link it down below. She's Kitty from Kitty and Shadow's Hobby Room. She was called Kitty and Shadow's Reading Library, but she's just changed her name, so I will leave her links down below if you want to go and follow her. She's so sweet, she's lovely, and she decided first that she was going to read Den of Vipers. The hype surrounding it is very polarised, so some people love it, some people hate it. I've seen some Goodreads reviews that people are just like, oh my god, this is just great. And then you get your 1 and 2 star reviews from like Gavin and Becca from Becca of the Books. Chloe, I will link her down below as well, she gave it 4 stars. So I don't know what to think. Get ready for a roller coaster. Do a smutty read. We'll see where we go with this. So welcome to the Den of Vipers spoiler filled vlog. If you don't really want to know what happens in Den of Vipers, then this video won't be for you. But if you don't plan on reading it and you want to see my thoughts, or you've read it and you want to see my thoughts, or you just want to see my thoughts, then strap yourself in, grab a snack, grab a brew, and Lego. Right, okay, so first chapter is Diesel, and I have got this on Kindle, by the way, and 533 people have highlighted the same things that I have. So what is it, like the second page? Because it only goes in hours, so it's like the second page on Kindle pages. I was deemed too insane to deal with employees after I burned one of their eyes out for calling me scum. And it's been a whole 2 days since I killed someone, and I'm getting restless. Next page. Fuck. I can almost taste the fear. Feel the flames licking me. My cock hardens in my trousers at the image. And that's Diesel thinking about grabbing a lighter and burning someone's house down. So I don't know what to say. Yeah, and apparently he is death. Ryder may be the face, Garrett may be the enforcer, the muscle, and Kenzo the dealer, but me, I'm the fucking Grim Reaper. So Apparently Diesel's a Grim Reaper. Let's continue. Next line. Tell me when I burn her, will you care or not? And this is talking to a guy that they've got tied up for torturing because he owes them a debt, and he has basically sold his daughter to them to pay off his debt, and he's asking him if he'll care if Diesel burns his daughter.
Open your eyes, breathe in, it's time to have some meaning in your life. It's a long road, at first it's slow, but soon enough you'll have that show.
Okay, I won't update this as much, honestly, I promise, but he says to him, I wonder if she bleeds pretty, and then and he's rubbing his cock, or he's rubbing himself over his jeans at the thought of hurting this girl. Oh my god, I don't know, oh god.
So don't look back, enjoy the ride and just relax. You're going far, yeah, you're a star. You just don't know yet who you are. We're gonna rock this place till this begins to shake.
The last part, he goes over to her father and whispers in his ear, I'll let you know if she comes before or after I fight her neck.
We're gonna rock and roll till our body can't no more. No, we'll never be too old. 'Cause if we
Oh, Roxy has just admitted she's got a daddy complex on chapter 2. Okay, so we're only on, what chapter are we on? Chapter 3. And they're already talking about fucking dibs. They've not got Roxy yet. They've just found out that she's basically, they sent their thugs to get her, she kicked the shit out of him, and they're now finding out about her. And he's just, who are we on now? We're on Ryder. And he's just thumbed through all these documents to see what the crack is with her. And he's just got to a picture, and then it was Kenzo. Kenzo was like, oh, you didn't think she was gonna be so hot, did you? And he's like, not at all. And then he says, I actually can't speak as I stare at the picture, but then I push it away. This makes it easier since she's easy to look at. And he looks at Kenzo laughing. Well, Kenzo's laughing eyes to see him completely rearrange himself. And he says, I know, bro, first dibs. Mate. And like, I know they've taken her as a debt, which is cringe to begin with, but like, Kenzo's already thinking about what he's gonna do to her. Ryder's having to remind him, like, tomorrow, Kenzo, think with your head and your dick until we have her back here. So then you could do whatever you want with her, she's ours after all. I mean, mate, consent. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know there is such a thing as not consent, non-consent. Like, is that there's like a kink where you are consenting, but you're pretending that you're not consenting, because that's a thing. But this is genuine. Like, he's saying what he's gonna do to her. And by the sounds of it, she's gonna have like zero say over what they do to her, which is just plain non-consent, not consent, non-consent, if that makes sense. Yeah. Right, okay, so we haven't even met her yet. Well, we have, but the boys haven't even met her yet. Kenzo must be have an extremely high sex drive, or she must, I don't know, or he just must not be able to control himself over a pretty girl. Because literally we're still on chapter 5 and Ryder and Diesel are going to get Roxanne because, like I said, the goons that they sent, she kicked the crap out of him. So Diesel just asked him, hear anything about the girl? Asked Ryder. Is it Ryder? We're on Ryder now, aren't we? It was Garrett, not Ryder. Oh my god, I'm getting confused already. So Diesel asked Garrett hear anything about the girl? And then he said, only that Kenzo, and I quote, jacked off 4 times last night since seeing a picture of her. Does he have no self-control? Is Kenzo just the childish, high-strung, like, highly sexed one of them all, or something? Because 4 times in a night, just off a picture. Is he that deprived? I mean, really? Any need? Okay, even though the boys have just come to take her away, Roxy's looking them all over, and she refers to one of them with the suit, and I can't remember who wears the suit. His cheekbones are high and sharp, his jaw chiseled with stubble covering it, only framing his lush, plump lips. So she's already attracted to at least one of these guys. And so we continue. So they've gone to pick Roxy up to take her, and she's obviously putting a bit of a fight, giving a bit of attitude. And Diesel goes to grab her, and she instinctively punches him, and it makes him hard. Like, come on, man. I don't. It gets hard because a woman is getting defensive and lashes out and punches him. I don't know what to say. Okay, guys, chapter 8. We're on to chapter 8. And it looks like... Right, okay, so these guys are more than just a gang. They are seemingly like the mafia that sort of rule the city that they live in. And they are very well off. Because Roxy was knocked out and she's just been taken to wherever they live, which by the looks of it sounds really nice. So she's woken up in a really nice bed that's not like her normal crappy bedding, and she's now walked into a bathroom that is big enough to hold 6 people, but she's still looking for weapons or something to use as a weapon. She's just realised someone's taken a boot. She's feisty. Says they're going to learn that money can't buy obedience. I'm no man's object. They are going to regret the day they took me. Really? Really, Roxy? Are they? Vipers? Bitch, please. I bite too. Oh, love it. Okay, so chapter 8. We've just come across an issue. I'm now going to add a trigger warning for self-harm in a way, but yeah. Initially accidental, but yeah, self-harm. Also, still on sprints with Steph and Jade, still on Monday, and also another trigger warning for child abuse. I don't know how many scenes this comes up with but I'm currently reading in chapter 8 a scene of her, I think she's sleeping and she's dreaming, or like in a dream she's remembering some form of child abuse. So I will try and put all the trigger warnings in the description, and I will also probably add another clip at the beginning of the vlog that sort of details the trigger warnings that I find out as I've gone through the book, so that you can all find out before. But obviously as I'm going along, I'm just telling you what I've picked up on. So yeah, trigger warnings of self-harm, child abuse. Obviously there's quite a couple of violent scenes where there's sort of a GBH, harming other people, there's blood, there's gore, and this is like only 8 chapters in. So yeah, there's graphic violent scenes from the offset. So there's that. Okay, so Right, okay, we're on to chapter something or other, I think 9 or 10. And she's just had a really bad dream. Out of the 4 Vipers, Diesel seems to be the really sadistic one who likes pain kink, who is very, very heavy on the pain. The other 3, one, especially Ryder, who seems to be like, so far, the more like level-headed, he's a suited and booted observant one of the group. He said that she needs to stay away from him for now because he's far too excitable to be around, and his kind of excitable is like, he's like excited, he gets hard at the thought of wanting to inflict pain on somebody. So they've basically locked her away from him. He's got into a room and he's watching her sleep, which is creepy as fuck. One chapter ends where she's waking up from a nightmare, and then his chapter starts where he's seeing her wake up from this nightmare. He's basically just jumped on her, and he's getting hard on about the fact that she's thrashing underneath him and fighting him. So that's making him harder. Just want to point out, like, I'm laughing because it's like a fucking nervous, awkward laugh. I am not kink shaming anyone, so if this is your kink, if you like pain, drawing blood, if that kind of thing turns you on, I am not kink shaming in any way, shape or form. It's not my thing, so for me, there's certain things that just take it too far. And this whole vlog is just going to be my opinions, but I don't judge anyone who this actually works for. This kind of thing isn't something that gets me going at all, but again, stressing here, no shame if it does do it for you. I'm just giving my honest thoughts as and when they come. His kinks are quite hard kinks, they're not soft kinks, are they? So yeah, if hard kinks are your thing, then you do you, but this kind of thing is not the kind of thing that I would get like excited about. Just pop it in here, just pop it in again. We've literally just got down to the bottom of that same page, and he's asking if he likes pain. And then she's like, fuck you. And he's like, no, little bird, but I will fuck you. So anytime I hear the phrase little bird now, I'm gonna think of this. That's ruined that for me. And he's also now telling her that he's gonna fuck her, but not tonight, because he wants his toys there and he wants to mark her pretty skin within an inch of her life. Somebody please get this guy a therapist. Fucking hell. Right, okay, so Diesel now leaves because Garrett walks in, and Garrett is the one that is not affected by her, that doesn't want to sleep with her, she's there for Garrett because she's paying the debt as far as he's concerned at the moment. So the rest want to do whatever they want to do to her, but he seems to be like just caring for her. Diesel noticed the cut that she'd done on herself and opened it up, and then like unwrapped the bandages and started pressing on the cut. She felt pain, so she bit her own lip, but then also liked it. So she's not innocent in all of this. She's obviously being kept a prisoner, but she's got a pain kink as well, obviously. So Garrett comes in and he's trying to fix her up, and he's reached for her hand to try and help her. He's put, let me at least clean it and wrap it. How's your lip? So she's bit her lip that much that she's drawn blood. And then she's put eye freeze as he strokes his thumb across it. His eyes scrutinising and clinical, cold, like he isn't affected, like his touch isn't doing strange fucking things to me. Things I have no business feeling when I'm his prisoner. Bitch, she's been there 2 minutes. She's been there 2 minutes. She's already feeling things tingling for somebody that she literally just met, who took her away from her life. Okay, so first 10 chapters, so let's go. Diesel is in need of therapy, like long-term, intense therapy. Okay, so this isn't, I'm not saying he needs therapy for the fact that he has kinks. It's more than that. He seems to, there is a difference between having a kink and just being a masochist. I'm going to explain it in a way that I know, with as much detail as I know. Obviously, anyone who knows more than me, please correct me if I'm wrong. I am in no way, shape or form saying I know everything about everything, but when it comes to sort of pain kinks and kinks in general, they are things that are sort of the majority of the time kept to sort of like a role-playing or bedroom situation. It's not generally a day-to-day life kind of thing. People know where the barriers are, they know safe words, they know when to stop, basically. And it's a consent thing. Even sometimes, like I said before, there's consent, non-consent. So again, that's like moving into sort of a role-playing type of situation where there is non-consent, but they will generally always have like a safe word and things like that. This with Diesel is just straight up non-consent. This is just straight. He will cause harm to anybody and everybody that he feels deserves it for whatever reason, and he enjoys playing with people in that way. And it's not just a kink, it is just him as a person. He enjoys inflicting pain on everybody. So that side of it, like, he is just sadistic and he does need help. Ryder, Kenzo and Garrett all seem to be able to control in front of her at the moment. They all seem to be able to control themselves better. Kenzo's quite cheeky and he's very lustful and he's all very wink wink, nudge nudge, sort of cheeky with her. Garrett, not interested in whatsoever at the moment. He very much wants to stay away from her. And then you've got Ryder, who's quite methodical, who clearly knows that she's an attractive girl, but is quite methodical and is very much like an organised person, so he can keep any feelings under control, again, at the moment, as it is. So you've got Diesel, the wild child, Kenzo, the cheeky chap, Garrett, stone cold Steve Austin. No, he's got stone cold, totally lacking interest, and then Ryder, who's the organised one. And throughout the four can keep their inhibitions locked up, whereas Diesel's just like this wild child. Well, he's not even a child, but you know how it's like he's missed the developmental stage where you learn about social norms. And okay, so psychology lesson, you've got 3 parts of your brain. You've got super ego, ego and the id. The id is very much one extreme, super ego is the other extreme, the ego is a person in between. So the id is your primal inhibitions, zero, like a total lack of control over what you do, what you say, how you act, all that kind of thing. It's like, it's just primitive instincts, and that is what Diesel reminds me of. The other 3 at the moment can sort of balance business and things. So yeah, so it's like Diesel has never developed that side of his brain. This is probably not what you came here for. You probably came here for a smutty read, not a psychology lesson, but for me, it's just it's a whole new perspective on things. He could be a case study. I would like to study him and just to see what's going on in that brain, that brain of his. Oh God, you come in for a smutty read and you get Psychology 101 with Miss Woods. You're welcome. But yeah, they're my thoughts so far. Diesel is the id and needs some help, potentially from Freud himself. So there we go. See you tomorrow. Hello. Ignore this. I've got a hair mask on. So we're on Tuesday, by the way. So we've got to a point where Ryder says, the colour of her hair is a shade of ice. The colour of my soul. I didn't know ice was a shade. That's just a weird thing. And it's very much like an inner monologue. And you talk about like the scars over her body, only highlighted by her tattoos, a way to draw attention to her. And it's like, she's been there a couple of days, and it's like they're already obsessed with her. Maybe it's just me, but I can't imagine getting that crazy over someone that I literally know nothing about. And then we move on to another chapter, where Roxy's left in the den by herself with Kenzo. Oh, nice cup of tea. So, knowing how, especially how Diesel is, and knowing how dangerous the rest are, even if they're not as bad as Diesel, they are still dangerous, she decides that it would be a good idea to... Kenzo says you can look around the place. So she takes it upon herself to, when she finds Ryder's room, to slice up all his expensive suits. Now, I'm not an inherently violent person, but if somebody shredded up my clothes, I would be angry. So can you imagine the reaction she's going to get when Ryder gets home? Am I waiting for her to get tortured? I mean, yes, I know she's angry. Yes, I know that they've done a bad thing. But she's making it worse for herself. Because she already knows that they have no self-control. Not really, to like take a person. Kenzo's just asked her to come and relax. And they're watching a chick flick and she's fallen asleep. She's already getting a bit fixated on like Garrett and why he hates women. We're only like 10% in, so we're on like chapter 12 and there's 69 chapters, and in that time she's literally only been with him a day or two, and all these feelings that are stirring between them all already. It's just kind of a bit, not loving the word, but she don't really put much of a fight, does she? If she's already like having thoughts about him. So we'll see what happens with her and Kenzo. So Garrett doesn't hate women as much as he claims, because he's just been thinking about her in the shower. And we just had a first scene of him masturbating in the shower. It's very quick. That's all I can say, it was quick. Okay, so we've just got past the scene where not only does Diesel have some violence issues, Garrett has some serious female issues. So we had the scene in the shower, but then we've gone to a scene where Ryder's found out that Roxy's slashed his clothes to bits. So she runs and ends up bumping into Garrett. And the one person she knows, like, shows the least interest in her, like, she darts behind him and then goes into his room. So then he shuts the door and he's like, I'm not gonna save you. And then she gets all aggressive and then he ends up pinning her against the wall, ends up like grabbing her throat and like strangling her, but not in like a sexy way, like she's like, just kill me then. So he's getting really aggressive, but then Ryder comes in and says she's not her, she's Roxanne, it's not her. And then he keeps referring to this woman that has done something to him, and I do not know what this woman did to damage him so much, but this guy has some serious friggin' issues, and he's now gone to some underground boxing thing to take out all his aggression on these people, and he's just caving in these people's faces. Totally different kind of issues to what Diesel has, but again, fascinating to study. I'm really probably not supposed to be thinking like this, but all I can think of is like, I'm still thinking that I just want to study them all. And I think they've got issues, I've got issues. This is a smutty book. My mind's not going there right now. It's just, maybe I need help. Next chapter is back to Roxanne. She's in the house, in the den with the vipers, and she's gone back to her room. She's hiding from Ryder, and slipping into the shower, I scrub my body, ignoring my traitorous pussy, who seems too interested in these snakes. I mean, personally, I don't understand how you can be dragged away from your life, and like within a day or two, however long this has been, I think it's only actually been a day, that all of a sudden she's getting flutters over these guys. I mean, even if someone is attractive, the way that they've treated her, I don't understand how she can find that remotely like a turn on. It is so strange to me. She baffles me as much as they do. It's just, I'll come back when I've got more. Oh my god. God, I really, we're still not even that much further on. It's just, I need to discuss with you. She's woken up wet. I don't know what this dream is that she's had, and she's now talking to it. You do understand they stole us, right? As in, they stole us and locked us up as now, before heaving up and heading towards the shower again. Who talks to it? Do you? Because I don't. Not only do they talk quite graphically about private areas and such, they're also graphically describing how they're currently torturing a man. So everything is graphic. There's violence, there's sex, there's everything, there's tortured pasts. just putting out there as well, this den is not a den, it's a fucking skyscraper, and they live in luxury and they're well off. The only den is Diesel's little dungeon thing where he's torturing this guy, because he calls it his den. They're currently torturing a guy and he's just cut off someone's nipple. Diesel's just cut off a man's nipple, yeah. And Rox has also just slashed him because he did something that triggered her. So, not only have they just tortured this guy, they literally started slicing him to within an inch of his life, wait till he passes out and wakes up, then carries on torturing him, and they literally just set him alight. Tortured him multiple times, and then set him on fire. What am I reading? Seriously, what am I reading? Sorry. Next page. Diesel just asked if she's ready for dinner after they've just lit this guy up. She says she's starving, and she's realising now that she's more messed up than she thought, because the thought of his burning flesh makes her feel hungry. Oh, dude! What the fuck? I've got about 40 more chapters of this. Okay, so she's now lusting after Ryder. They've gone to have some food, and then after they've had the meal, he's then taken off his shirt, rolled up his sleeve, and said he's going to the gym. And she started drooling over him. Now she's in a room by herself, and we all know what's going to happen, don't we? I am telling you, it is not a well-written book. It's basic at best, but I'm just interested to see where it goes. Does that mean there's something wrong with me? So many issues. So many issues. So many questions. Okay, the one thing I agree with in the whole of this book, she made a comment about grey joggers. Low-riding grey sweatpants are made purely to tease women. I agree. And if you don't know, get to know. Okay, so, chapter 18. I thought we were on the knife scene, but we're not. But Shell's just cut him, and he's kind of liking it. But they go from this, like, intense, in wanting to sleep with her and whatever, and this is Diesel, by the way, getting all hot over her, to then talking about, like, how she fell for someone and he left her, then now having the heart-to-heart. Baffling. Absolutely baffling. Also, we just found out now that his mother died by being beaten to within an inch of her life, and then house being burnt down with her inside it. So maybe that's the reason why he's got an issue with fire. And Diesel, of all people, is now getting really deep. And he's like, well, the moment your dad gave you up, you became like us, another lost soul, another viper in search of a home. So basically, they're justifying kidnapping her and keeping her there because her dad sold her. And they realised that she was one of them. They could have just invited her nicely. Didn't have to steal her. Could have done it like a normal person, like one of them could have like approached her and started dating her or something. You know, like a normal person. Not just kidnap her. Anyway, just thought. Who knew this psychopathic, crazy pyromaniac had a heart? Yay. Okay, now Rox is out on a little bit of a mission with them all. And they've come across this guy that Ryder's very jealous of, about how comfortable she's around him, and she's very cocky and she's got a bit of an attitude, and she comes out with this. He says that they're brave to deal with her because last month I saw her almost cut someone's dick off with a piece of a broken glass bottle he threw at her when she broke his heart. She said he was rude, plus that was one time. Okay, maybe more than once, but honestly, people with dicks always think that they know best and can act like they own you. I remind them that vaginas are stronger than dicks. Ours are inside and yours hang out ready to be chopped off. I don't like her. She's not a really likeable character, but that was funny. That was funny. And now they've gone all caveman on this guy that's just helped them. And Ryder's took a gun to his head because this guy had a bit of banter where they called each other like bitch. She called him Wangston, and they have like this little bit of banter. She's on her way out of the room, and then Ryder holds a gun to his head saying, ever insult her again, I'm gonna kill you, kind of thing. These are some crazy folk. Crazy folk. Okay, so finished chapter 20. It's 11:45. At the moment, I'm just very intrigued as to what's going to happen next. My sense of curiosity is peaked, and we've still not got to the knife scene yet, but we have had a few situations where knives have been involved and cuts have been made, and they were a bit ugh. So I don't know how I'm going to be with this whole knife scene that's going to be discussed. Within a couple of days, she's fitting in with them and she's going on missions with them. She's already slept with Kenzo. And then she had a heart-to-heart with Diesel. She saved Garrett's life, and all four of them are now, that's a weird four, all four of them are now lusting after her. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, and maybe people won't think the same way I'm thinking, but even if this does become some kind of polyamorous relationship, this is depicting a polyamorous relationship in a very toxic way, and I highly doubt that that is gonna go down well. It's just not a very stable, it's quite a toxic relationship, isn't it, to be fair. Poly relationships depicted in a non-toxic way. If you've ever watched SWAT, there was a character in that got into a polyamorous relationship. Didn't end up working out, but that was dealt with in a very sensitive way, and I felt that was right. But the whole book is just toxic, isn't it? Like, let's be fair. It's all very interesting. But I'm guessing that's why my interest is peaked. It's just the psychology of it all. I've got issues, and one of them is how intriguing this book is. Okay, hi, so we're now on Wednesday the 12th, and I don't know what chapter we're on now, but ignore the messy hair. So, literally, I think Roxanne, we're on chapter 24. I think Roxanne's been there. She can't have been there more than a week. The only person who's slept with her so far is Diesel. No, Kenzo, but she's kissed Diesel, and they've done stuff in the restaurant like I told you before. So it's now just coming to a point where they've literally, Ryder is literally just sliced someone up because they were sent to kill him. They're trying to track down who's sent these people to kill the Vipers. Chapter 24 starts and Ryder and that have just got home. One of the guys was playing poker with Roxanne, or Roxy, and he thinks she's cheating, so he grabs her as they walk in, coinkydinkley, and they're that possessive over her. Ryder, like, smashes his hand with a hammer and then cuts his tongue out because he called her a bitch. And says, nobody touches you, nobody insults you, only us, you belong to us. And now he's saying to her, like, anyone that touches you going forward will die. You'll let him touch you, and you now know that going forward, if anybody touches you, they die. So it's all on you if someone else dies. Which is fucked up anyway. But then it goes on to another bit where he's basically saying he can't stand the way she talks to him, and she's verbally assaulted him again, verbally abused him again, and then turns to walk away, and then he's like, how dare she walk away from me? And he's already saying that he's fallen in love with her. I mean, he's read some of her background, so he knows about her background, and yeah, she's fit, but he's barely had a conversation with her. I don't understand how he's fallen in love with her, because they've not had a conversation. I mean, Diesel's had more of a frigging conversation with her than he has. So he's read a bit of a background, so he's found out about her that way. And she'd been out on one of their little mission things to try and find out who wants the Vipers dead. Other than that, she's been snarky, she's been rude, she's sworn at him, she told him to fuck off, she's said that she didn't want to be with him, she's done everything possible to try and get out. Dude, I genuinely don't know what these guys think love is, but this is not it. This is backwards. This is toxic. This is not love. This is just pure, unadulterated possessiveness by some seriously damaged men. He's now whipping her with a belt because he's punishing her because she let the guy touch her. Bearing in mind, all she was doing was beating this guy at poker. And because she's backchatted him after he's smashed this guy's hand and cut his tongue out, and she's still being belligerent, he said that she needs to be punished. So he's taken off his belt and he's smacking her bare ass. And during this exchange, he's saying that he aches to worship her, but he's reining in the impulse. Just issues galore. So much to unpick. Like, let's go. So, as expected, she sleeps with Ryder. It's different to Kenzo. Like, Ryder seems to already be falling in love with her, and although he's ordering her about and telling her what to do, they cuddle after. And now we just got to a bit where Garrett the next day is really mad at her, obviously, because he's probably jealous, and him and Diesel are going out to a fight, so she's going with them, and she just threatened to kill somebody by shooting him in the head because he touched her while she was watching Garrett fight. So this just seals it for me. She's just as crazy as them. Okay, so literally the day after she sleeps with Ryder and she's gone to this thing and seen Garrett fight, she's gone home and Garrett stormed off, still not speaking to her, and she's gone after him, asking him to talk to her, and she just turned around and tells him that she wants him and that she's wet for him, and he's just told her to get out before he kills her. So she's just a little slut. She's going around all of them. Okay, so Kenzo and Ryder have gone off to run some errand, and Kenzo's just said he don't mind sharing Roxanne as long as they don't cross swords. He's like, I'm not willing to cross swords with you, but we'll share. So she's now, oh, and she's also just gone down on Garrett. So she's had 3 out of the 4 so far. She just kissed Diesel, all with Garrett, and she slept with two of the others. So this beach gets around. Okay, so now Roxy's coming to a realisation that she needs the Vipers, and the Vipers are coming to a realisation that they need her. Ryder and Kenzo have been out to deal with some shit, and then they've like, well, let's buy some girly stuff, and let's buy this, let's buy that, let's make her happy, and blah 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 blah. Let's buy her a car. Like, they're acting like they're in some kind of normal relationship situation, and it's just making me laugh. And then all of a sudden, she's owning up to Garrett and saying how the last person she to be fair, this bit did sort of, I was like lumping throat kind of situation when she was telling Garrett about the last person she really cared about. Hurt her and blah blah blah, which is her dad, and then, you know, he beat her and stuff, and then as she got older she thought she freed herself, and then he sold her, and, you know, she's basically saying that she understands that he's tortured because she's tortured too, just like him. And Garrett ends up opening up to her and saying, admitting that he wants her and admitting that he cares for her, but he doesn't know how to handle the situation. So they've agreed to just be civil for now. And then Ryder and Thingy came back and they've kissed. And she was like, so shocked because she saw blood on him and she thought he was hurt. And then she rushed over to him all, like, worried that he'd been hurt, and then realised that it wasn't his blood. And now she's going to Diesel's den with him. Okay, so got to the bit where Diesel's taken Roxy down into his den, and they've just killed this assassin that's just given him lots of information, and she's been like, oh my god, that's so hot, no, I want you, come with me. And yeah, I think this is the knife scene, so I'm gonna sit here and read while you see my reaction. Okay, it's got the really bit inside now of the handle of the knife. The same one that you just used to slit someone's throat. Okay. This isn't that bad so far.
We're gonna rock this place till the stage begins to shake. Jump, shout, scream, I don't care. At this point it might as well break.
He's now whipping her with a wooden pole thing on her back.
It's coming fast, so don't look back. Enjoy the ride and just relax. You're going far.
Oh god, he's now inside her, and he's just decided to slice between her breasts. He just slit someone's throat with this, and he's cutting her. The mixing of blood to make me feel sick.
Begins to shake. Jump, shout, scream, I don't care. At this point it might as well break. We want fame, and we want you to learn your name.
Okay, so he's now just stuck the handle of said knife that he's used to slit someone's throat and cut her chest into her butt. The handle, not the sharp bit. He's just slammed into it, and the knife's just impaled him as he's put it. Good job I know where to cut so it's not fatal. But it hurts like a son of a bitch.
To sell my soul.
Okay, so he's now moved the knife knowing that he can't really handle too much. Well, he could. So he's moved it so he can move freely, but he also knows that if he doesn't rush the rest of it, he's gonna pass out. I can just imagine that there's gonna be quite a bit of blood loss from this. He's like, I'm gonna need to be stitched at some point, but for now I'll survive. And he's just told her in the middle of that she's gonna have to stitch him. Once we're done, stitch me or I might die.
Jump, shout, scream, I don't care. At this point it might as well break. We want fame, and it's your turn to learn your name.
Okay, so scene's ended. I'll come back with my thoughts after this chapter. 1 second. Okay, so I've got one more chapter to read before I wrap up today's chapters. But okay, so the knife scene. It wasn't all that bad, to be fair. I'm in the same mind as a few other people that I've seen talk about that particular scene. Is I was more icked by the fact that he slit someone's throat, then cut her, and then dug it into himself without cleaning anything. The unsanitariness of it. Is that a word? Unsanitariness. It was very unsanitary. Other than that, the rest of it wasn't that bad. That is a hard no from me, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The one thing that is sort of bugging me is that she's still, even again, like I said, it's been a bit insta-lovey, and if you've read it, you know what I mean. So even though she's constantly still swearing at him, being aggressive towards him, telling him to fuck off, telling him that this, that, the other, and she's still fighting against him, she's also still sleeping with all of them and telling them all that she does care about him, and she's trying to help Garrett get over whatever issues he's got. She's now just got really close to Diesel after this, and started being all cuddly and stuff. Well, there's blood everywhere. Ugh. This whole fighting them thing, where she's still saying, I'm going to escape and all this, you're not. You want to stay now. Just admit you want to stay. Just admit you like them all and that you want to share them all, and just be done with it. Just admit it. You're done. End of. Yeah, that bit's great on me. She's bugging me a bit with that. And other than that, I'm not hating it. I'm not loving it. It's just very meh. The sex scenes are very meh. Maybe because the writing's just meh. Everything's just very. But they have made me laugh a couple of times, I will admit. I'm gonna go read my final chapter, and I will update you if there is anything else of consequence that happens in chapter 29. Okay, so thoughts. I don't know what my thoughts are. So the last chapter was basically them showing Roxy all the presents that they've got her, getting her to admit that she basically cares for them all. And then Garrett got her a new gun that says Viper's Girl on it, went to show her how to shoot it, and then she tried getting in his head, getting him to open up. He didn't like it, so he stormed off and said that she's just a lay to them, and blah blah blah. Garrett went off and just acted like a little bitch basically, and then Ryder was like, you know you're more than just a lay to us, right? I don't know what's gonna happen now. She's basically submitting to them all. Maybe we'll find out who's trying to kill him, and they'll all defeat the person who's trying to kill him. As a family, I don't hate it, but I'm not super into it. I want to read it to find out what happens, but I kind of just want it to hurry up and get there already, because I feel like we've got 29 chapters in and not much has happened other than them just being passed around the mall, and they've just killed a couple of people. There's not much of a plot, really. So it's all just very all over the place. But still, I just want to study more. I'm going to keep saying this. Can some psychologist please just read the book and dissect each person's brain and how it works? And yeah, could somebody do that? And just send me the report so I can read it. Total breach of confidentiality and not ethical at all, but please do, because I'm all for it. And I feel like this vlog's going to be really long, so I'm going to try and cut out as much of my babbling as possible. But I just feel like I have to keep giving you updates because it's just a mess. And I have things to say, and if I don't say them straight away, then I feel like I won't say them. And it's now 12:20 and I'm not even tired, I'm really wide awake. So I might watch some YouTube before bed, because why not? Why not? Hey, so we're in a little bit of a different situation, different area of the flat, and I'm just coming to give you an update of what I've read so far of Den of Vipers. I know that up until like yesterday I was sort of giving you my thoughts as I was reading them, but last night I just sat down and I was chilling on my sofa and just reading, and I didn't really feel like picking up my camera. Like, I just had a bit of an off day yesterday. But we've gone past the point now where Roxy's finally admitted to herself and admitted to her Vipers that she loves them and she wants to be with them. She had a little four-way thing with all of them. It's getting to a point now where it's just sort of dragging out. I think what she should have done was ended it there. This was supposed to be about them kidnapping her and her, you know, her feelings changing and stuff anyway, wasn't it? But then it's moved on to this. Obviously they've been trying, people like the Triad have been trying to kill them, and it's now gone past the point where she's now one of them, and it's just all reading very cheesy and very, we're gonna protect our girl. I mean, it was like that anyway, but it's just a bit much now. Like, all this, they've taken our girl, they can't take our girl, they're all desperately in love with her. She's been taken by Garrett's ex-girlfriend, who's they think is working for the Triad, but Garrett's ex-girlfriend, obviously we found out what happened to Garrett. His ex-girlfriend turned on him and ended up like scarring him, which is why he started hating women. So we found that out, which was interesting to find out, not gonna lie, when he was explaining what she did to him and that kind of thing. That bit was, oh, that's my Kindle. That bit was interesting, but a lot of the dialogue between them is just very cliche and very, just a bit much at times, and I just don't see the whole point of it, if I'm quite honest. I mean, it's not been the best book in the world. It's not the best written. It pulls a lot of cliches and a lot of cheesy sayings and monologues from many of the things I've seen before. But like I said from the beginning, it's been, for me, it's more so been like the psychology of it all, like how they're thinking and things like that. The sex scenes are very just like whatever. Or it made me cringe when the knife went into his stomach, and it made me cringe that he just used that to cut someone's throat. That's the thing that bothered me more. It just sliced someone's throat and then used the same blade without cleaning it to cut her, and then jammed it into himself. So that was a cringe for me. It's boring now. It's just getting a bit. I'm just gonna plough through. I'm gonna plough through the rest of this and finish the buddy read with Kitty. And we'll take it from there. But it literally could have ended on chapter 40 or whatever it was, where she finally realised that she cared for them and that she loved them. They had the little foursome thing, and then that was it. Like, happily ever after, done, dusted. And it probably, at that point, based on how I feel, probably would have got like an okay 3-star. I'm over it now. The intrigue's just gone. But it is what it is. We're gonna finish reading it, because if it wasn't a buddy read, I would have just DNF'd it at this point and then just start stuff it, whatever. I'm gonna coffee. Ooh, this one's nice. This one, not that you care, and I don't know if you can get it anymore, but I've got a Nespresso machine from when I used to work for Nespresso. And this is a Buenos Aires Longo, which is, I don't know if it's a special edition one, but it's one of their newer ones. I think it was a limited edition, but this is really nice. I'm not going to let it put me in a slump, because I've got a lot of books to read, and I've got a lot of books that I'm looking forward to reading. Yeah, I'm quite disappointed. Editing this vlog's going to be a mess. The amount of clips I've got. Jesus. Right, I'm going. I'll see you in a bit. Hello. I think the last update I gave you was that it was pretty boring. It's very much the same sort of thing. And she's like, my vipers, my boys. And she still hasn't told them that she loves them. She still says, I hate you, instead of, and they're all like, I love you. And then each of them, they're all very possessive. It's just a very toxic environment. It's just toxic. It's just toxic. That's all I can say. Just toxic. A little bit of action. But again, it just goes back to them enjoying hurting people, enjoying torture people. And in the midst of all this, she still goes on about sex in the middle of them all being like shot at and stabbed, and it's not that any of this is realistic anyway, although possibly. I don't know what happens in the triads and these fucking gangs and stuff, but she will find a way to talk about sex. She will call them in the middle of them working just to say, oh, I'm bored and I need you, or whatever, or I'm feeling needy. And I mean, it's just, there's just no point to the story anymore. At one point, not gonna lie, because of the intrigue I was feeling, if I'd have put it through a core pile near the beginning of the book, when I'd read like the first quarter of the book, it probably would have either come out at a high 3 or a low 4. But now, you can probably almost guarantee it's going to be a 2. So I'm going to go back onto something I'm going to really enjoy, and I will update you on my final thoughts on Den of Vipers tomorrow. Hello friends! So I'm coming at you after reading Den of Vipers. So I'm going to keep this bit brief because I've been in the middle of editing my video and the raw footage is over 2 hours long. So as you can gather, I'm struggling to whittle that down to wherever is what a watchable time frame. Just to quickly skim over the last 10 chapters. Bag of crap. Does that sum it up? Does it? Maybe? Almost. Me. Just, do you know how I said, I think I said it, that after the halfway point, it started going downhill, and it just, I lost all interest. So it continued that way. So after the triad were beaten and defeated, it was just, the last 10 chapters were just basically her going around each of them and just being same old flirty Roxy and getting off with them all, and it was just not very much of anything. And then she went off and killed her dad, because after defeating the triad they were like, you know, he really hurt you and we can't do with the fact that he really hurt you and blah blah blah. Bearing in mind that at the beginning of this book they were all ready to freaking kill her. I mean, pot kettle black, do you know what I mean? What the, it was just backwards. And then they went off and killed her dad, and then that was it basically. And then the last chapter was the epilogue 6 months later. Because they're a big family now, that they've got this new house where all of them have their own little sections, you know. Diesel has his own den again and blah 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 blah, fresh new start, whatever. And then they get married, and the guy who's marrying him was shouting, "This is illegal," and she was like, again, they didn't even ask her if she wanted to get married. They said that they were taking her out, and then when they were on the way out, they were just like, "Oh, we're getting married," and she was like, "That's illegal," and again they basically just forced it. They were like, "Well, yeah, we're getting married anyway because you're gonna marry all of us. We don't care if it's illegal. What we say goes. We don't play by them rules." Just got so ridiculous, and by the end I was just kind of like, whatever, done, 2 stars, bye. So overall thoughts: intrigue near the beginning, into the middle was quite high. I wanted to get to know the characters, and they were actually doing an okay job of keeping me, you know, interested in the characters and that kind of thing. So that bit was fun, funky, fresh, fine, whatever. After the point where she decided that she loved him or she cared for him or whatever she was doing, then it kind of went down after that. The whole kidnapping, and then the ex-girlfriend who maimed Garrett. I mean, that bit was slightly interesting, finding out about her and really seeing the person that had really messed up Garrett's head. That was a bit more interesting, but it could have just done with a good 200 or more pages being cut out, and it felt a bit like all these spare sex scenes that she couldn't fit in during the majority of the book were just tagged on in like the last 10-15 chapters of this book. It was just no need. Also, overall thoughts about relationships. Obviously it's a very toxic relationship. It's not a very good representation of a relationship in any way, shape or form. Whether that's how it started, how possessive they are of her, the very unflattering way that they depict a polyamorous relationship, which I'm surprised I've not heard more uproar about that, to be honest, because especially on Twitter they have uproars about, you know, some tiny little things, but something like that where it depicts a very toxic polyamorous relationship. I'd have thought there'd have been more comments about that, but I've not seen any. And also when it comes to sort of like fetishes, kinks, things like that, it sort of doesn't differentiate between having something as a kink and that kind of thing. There's no separation between the two, like normal everyday life and bedroom antics. It's just sort of melded into one, and it's just not well done at all. And like I said, if you want, this is not a book recommendation, it's a series recommendation. It's SWAT, and it's got what's his face in from Criminal Minds, Morgan from Criminal Minds, top tier. But that has power through the series what I perceive to be a very well done polyamorous relationship situation, dealing with actual feelings about being in a polyamorous relationship. And yeah, so that's if you would like to go see it depicted in a healthier way, alongside seeing a couple of badass men and a kick-ass woman working SWAT, then go watch SWAT. I would recommend. But I would not recommend this book. If you are a psychologist and you would like to read this book to delve into the minds of some sadistic people who clearly have a lot of trauma that needs to be unpicked, then crack on, because they would be a great case study. Although I'm probably sure you could find some real life case studies of people that would probably yield way more for you than a fictional book. But that's by the by. I would not recommend this book. I'm glad I read it because I was intrigued about it, and it would have done me in if I didn't read it. I also got a chance to buddy read a book with Kitty, and she's great, and I can't wait to buddy read another book with her next time. Hopefully it's a better book that we can both enjoy a little bit more than what I did this time round. But it was good to have a bit of a conversation with somebody and read along with someone. So if you do like my videos and you want to see more, then please like, subscribe, comment down below what you've been reading. I'm very interested to know if you've got any recommendations for, I mean, even if it has any smut in it, I don't care. Just well written smut would be absolutely fabulous. Not this that I've just read. Just any recommendations that you've got, then please feel free to leave them down below, and I will hopefully at some point get around to them. But I keep a list of every recommendation I get, so just shoot them at me. And until next time, I will see you probably in another vlog at some point next week. Bye.